This is one of the cars that I learned my first handbrake turns in. I think probably 50 mile an hour top speed, and 0 to 60 is going to be about 6.5 days, which basically means the front windscreen is bulletproof on this car. It feels like actually a very small tin box, which it is. So Joseph, tell us, in all the cars you've got now, which is your favourite car and why?
It will probably be the Anglia Panda car.
That's this one here?
That's the,
Right, come, let's have a bit of a nosy.
the Anglia Panda car, wherever I go, whatever show we do, it's always where the public are drawn to. It's always the Anglia Panda car. And I imagine because of the stereotypical heartbeat, you know, this is the car, isn't it?
Old school.
This is it. And
Yeah.
obviously, this was the first car in this livery for Lancashire.
So before this, there were all black cars, weren't there?
That's where we were, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, we had the black before the Panda car
Right.
livery. So this was trialled in '66, which went on to form the unit beat policing scheme. And then we had other manufacturers like the Morris joining and so forth. But English Ford was the first to have a marked police.
So knowledgeable.
Yeah, so there
Is
we
it,
go.
is it like a Rolodex
It
just
is.
going off all the time?
It is. So the engine in the Anglia Panda car was often chosen to be a 997. This is representing a deluxe Panda car for some forces which had a few more quid.
Right.
And some of the less profitable forces had the base model Anglias with no roof box or nothing as such like that. But she's portraying a deluxe Panda car at the
Proper rotating lights.
That's
So
right.
all the cars that you see now on the roads, you see the Astras, the Jags, the Volvos, everything has got its livery because of how this car was first of all created and brought out. So this is the first of the first. This is the pop record. This is the Chzn Orcs of cars. I don't know why it's Chzn Orcs, but it always is. It's the one and only. Right, let's have a looking back of it then. One thing I always do, Joseph, I always do a criminal test
Criminal test.
to find out how it's in the back of the car. So if a criminal were going to get locked up in what were it, 1960?
66 onwards.
1966 onwards, they'll have got him back of one of these cars. I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. First of all, first thing you noticed is, yes, I'm behind the driver's seat. Please don't moan about this. All the people out there in YouTube land, we know you don't put a criminal behind the driver's seat. No headrests and very, very flimsy old school seats. Because it's an early car, obviously no seat belts, it feels like actually a very small tin box, which it is. Seats, again, vinyl, not very comfortable at all, but I suppose in the 60s, it were okay. But as a marks out of 10 for this, going to be a bit 3.5, maybe a 4 out of 10. Don't ever get locked up and get back of a Ford Anglia. That's all I can say. So we're going to have a look at the Morris now. This is a Morris 1000. My granddad used to have one of these. I think these are a very iconic 60s car.
Yeah.
So what's going to be the difference between this one and that one? Or it's just, again, is it the areas of where they were? I'm going to pick an Anglia, so I'm picking a Morris.
That's right. So generally, Morris offered a package. It's the same story today. When the English Ford introduced the Anglia, by the way, English Ford offered a police package internally. So that was the first, such as we get the Astra that's done in-house. English Ford offers a police package in-house.
Right.
So what happened soon after English Ford, set the way? Other manufacturers, as happens today, try and jump on the police bandwagon, don't they? And Morris was no different to that. So Morris offered a Panda car package, and this is what we see here.
Where's its like?
So different forces. Again, there were so many forces until the vast amalgamations and things like that. All forces had different ideas, different boxes, some without boxes, some with beacons, without beacons. There's so many variation. This particular Morris 1000 is an ex-Met.
Right.
1969 Morris 1000, and this was a roof box that was fitted on these, and it went on to the 1100s carrying the same box and things like that.
So that just lit up in the day, but
yep.
no Ninos, no sirens, no
Nothing
lights.
like that, no.
Am I right to have a sit in this?
You may, yep, no problem.
I tell you what, you're not going to get much crash protection in that bad boy, are you? I'm not going to get in the back of this because I don't think I'll fit, but I'm going to sit in the driver's seat. Ugh. Not what's comfortable nowadays, is it? Right, sitting in, you can see it's got some sort of radio system. I don't know really what, CB or whatever it's going to be, but it looks very old. I don't really want to touch it, but obviously you've got your volume, your squelching, you've got your tuning, a little bit of a glove compartment there. Again, it's like your granny's old tin box. A couple of switches. Again, I won't know what these are. And then you've got your air conditioning, which is screen and an in car, and it's just a little bit of metal coming up. Now I don't know about you, but having one of these here, I don't think you're going to get an airbag in that, do you? So in regards to this car, you're probably looking at something like 70 mile an hour top speed, not 60 is a couple of weeks, but it's not about that. These cars were brought out, and can you hear my little friend in the background cockagooing? These cars were brought out because most police officers in the day use bicycles, so these were just out so you could do twice as many calls in half the time. It's safe on leg speed, and that's why they brought these out. It wasn't about pursuit. It wasn't about how fast you can go. It would just get you from A to B so you could do the job. But yeah, thank you, Morris Minor. Thank you for bringing back the memories of my granddad as well. Big love. Tell us why it's black and why has it got ER on the side of it as well?
Okay, so she's got ER on the side because at the time that was what Leicester City, who she was new to, that was what they decided to do as such.
Yep.
The importance with this car is it's the one of only 2 genuine surviving Anglias that were used in the police. This, I would hazard to say, is probably the most important. New in 1965 to Leicester City Police, she was used specifically for the duty inspector. So she was the duty inspector's car of Leicester City Police.
Can I just stop you there? What year did you say?
1965.
1965, people. Best collar number ever given to anybody. 1965. Officer Ben Pearson, West Yorkshire Police. So this is only one of 2 remaining.
That's right, and I have both of them.
You have both of them?
I do.
Oh my God.
This is the stereotypical Black Mariah, of course. This particular is an LD, Austin LD van.
Right.
This particular example is ex-Manchester City Police, 1960. She has lost her original number plate, unfortunately, but we've traced the original registration. It matched up to Manchester City Police as it's on their history. So this was a officer transport vehicle, of course, for taking the officers to football matches and things like that.
wagon.
That's it.
Yeah, a riot van, so to speak.
So she's, the Black Mariah.
Yeah.
It's
so this is one of the first of the first.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask you about this car here, the black one. Since you've had it, or do you know if anything's been happened under the bonnet? Is it been chip modified? Has it been restructured? K&M filters? Has it done something, made a performance part on it to make it faster?
Can't tell you that, I'm afraid. Sorry about that.
Is there any particular reason why you can't tell us? And Mike, last but not least, if you spin around, there is the old school. So again, I was just speaking to Joseph. This is one of the cars that I learned my first handbrake turns in. I shouldn't really say that as being a police officer, but these cars are really good for handbrake turns. So this is your archetypal patrol car, this is your beat car, and this one is quite special, isn't it? This one's come from Sunderland?
Yes, she was Northumbria.
Northumbria Police. He's going to tell you a special fact about this car. Go on, tell us about the windscreen.
So we still don't know 100% why.
Yep.
If it's because she was in service the same year as the roll moat incident.
Yep.
But for a poverty beat spec Panda car, she's fitted with a ballistic windscreen.
It's very rare to have a beat car which is fitted with 3 laminate glass ballistic windscreen. And if you look over the top there, Mike, you can see how it's laminated is the glass, which basically means the front windscreen is bulletproof on this car, which is quite strange. Now, I've never known a beat car to fit one, but then again, I wasn't riding and driving around at that time up in Northumbria with that man on the loose, and we knew what he was wanting to do. We knew why he was wanting to do it. In regards to these cars, is 1.3 diesel, 80 brake horsepower, not 16. Oh God, don't ask. Top speed of about 110 miles an hour.
Total poverty spec. No temperature gauge even.
Yeah, these are basically the poor man's poor car, police car. But these are what officers used to cut the teeth in. Everyone drove these before they went onto traffic, and I was saying, I just want to say thank you so much for showing us your collection.
Absolutely, no problem.
It's fantastic. Just let other people know, how many other cars have you got?
I have 12 altogether.
You've got 12.
So we have Zephyrs, Wolsleys, 618, 690.
Right. What I like about this, we've done the job, but it's people like you that celebrate what we've done.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I want to say thank you very much.
It's very kind.
It's fantastic to see your collection, and long may it continue. If anyone wants to get in contact with you about your collection, I'll put all the details in below.
Thank you.
Feel free to drop them a message, and yeah, we're happy, and we'll see you next time.